college, those rural communities, the thing that I would have been most interested in doing if I had been elected was working on economic development for those rural communities.
This is always an interesting question to me, and it's offbeat to say the least. How does a politician in Missouri, a mayor of Kansas City, someone who ran for Congress, decide whether to say Missouri or Missouri?
Well, you have to remember, I grew up in Northwest Missouri.
Right.
And I remember thinking that if Ted Bond, as a U.S. Senator, could say Missouri, I could say Missouri. And I kind of like to do it now because if I'm long distance with somebody calling for some reason, making a solicitation or whatever, or I'm ordering something by phone, and I'll say Missouri as I'm responding to their questions. And I will sometimes hear the other person hesitate to ask me the next question, trying to process, what did she just say?
Your husband, Frank, passed just after you became mayor, and you are married again. And how did that happen for you?
I'm married to Tom Van Dyke. I met Tom in college at KU.
Wow.
He was dating and subsequently married my sorority sister and roommate in our sorority house. I was in their wedding. She was in my first wedding. And so I have known Tom since college. She passed away 10 or more years ago, and to my great surprise, we began to see each other and subsequently married.
Well, that's a neat story, again, of many that we've heard here. And the next phase of your life that just concluded was your work for Park University as Director of University Engagement. First of all, explain to the folks what Director of University Engagement is.
Well, I just recently, in the last few weeks, retired from Park, but I've had multiple roles with the university really since 2007 and 2008. I started out as a professor in the School of Public Affairs and taught graduate-level courses focused on leadership. I did that for several years and then gradually moved into a more consultant-type role, which is what I've been doing since. Park is a terrific school begun in the 1800s, a record that is really amazing when you look at the details in terms of its growth and development and inclusion that has been such a hallmark of that university. Over 100 countries currently represented in the student body, a very early active online program, extraordinary work with the military over the last several decades, and we have multiple campus centers around the country, usually in military installations, and also have a second campus in Gilbert, Arizona. So I've really enjoyed my relationship with Park and will always look on it with great favor.
Anybody who listens to this particular podcast has heard many, many Park University-related podcasts that we've done, from the Titanic to a whole bunch of other things. And you did just retire, and it's you worked to a long age. It's not like you're just going to kick back and do nothing. What does retirement hold for you?
Well, I'm still occasionally asked to speak to groups or more informally give advice or share my perspective on community issues, which I'm usually very happy to accommodate. I enjoy that. I enjoy strategizing and brainstorming. I'm also considering writing some kind of a memoir, not only of my experiences, but also using in each chapter information or anecdotes about other people, particularly women in Kansas City or the regional's history. So that's something that's certainly in my mind. I'm a great procrastinator about it, so I'm not making any promises, but I certainly have it on my mind.
Well, I hope you do it, because it will be a fascinating read, and certainly more than we can cover in this lengthy and enjoyable conversation. As you look back, you've done so many things first, and do you consider yourself a trailblazer in any way?
I think in some ways I have been, as have been so many other women in every facet of our lives. And I'm really enjoying watching the political races now, nationally and otherwise, where women have come to the forefront and, in my experience, have so much to offer. And I'm delighted to have been someone for whom other women may look to and say, well, you know, she did it, I guess I can too. So that gives me great pleasure.
Personally and professionally, you have a lot of wonderful things to look back on. It must make you sit back when you're procrastinating or have your nose in a book and stop reading for a minute, make you smile.
Yes, occasionally I really do smile. I do have joy.
We hope you enjoyed the latest Danny Klingscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Come back soon for something fresh and new. This podcast was made possible by our great sponsors like
Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. Joe Spiker and his team are the best in the business for all your roofing needs, handled with honesty and craftsmanship. Visit them at eastonroofing.com.